Jason in front.
Just what you saw from Tarek today, was that just a new
You know, for anyone new to the Tigers Guardians, this is what they look like every game, you know, and obviously Tarek set an incredible tone for us. He's been incredible for us all season, but what a performance at the biggest moments and on the biggest stage to get us in a great position to win the game. So saw a little bit of everything out of him. He was efficient. He was dominant. He had every pitch. He was up to 100 all the time. He didn't let, any big moment rattle him, and then put an exclamation mark at the end with his last, few pitches and last, let's call it 4 outs of handing the ball to Will.
I think the bunt surprised a lot of people. Can you walk us through the decision making and the execution of that in the 7th?
Yeah, I mean, these games are they're so crazy, and there's so few opportunities, or there's a ton of opportunities and you feel like you're one hit away. And today, just given where their pitching was at, and they turned the game over to Gaddis, we know who's coming next in Smith. They have a couple lefties that they can go to. I mean, it's just good pitcher after good pitcher, where one run was going to be a big deal. You can play for the big inning, which we often do, but we have that play in our playbook for, moments like this where it was an extreme need to take the lead with so few outs left.
Cody on the right.
AJ, what was your thinking in sending Tarek back out for the 8th, and then also when you eventually pulled him?
Yeah. So a couple thoughts there is one, and you saw the 7th. I mean, that's a good baseline for where Tarek was at, and where we were at in the order. I knew I could control their bench a little bit at the bottom, and then Quan was at the top. So when you get to Martinez, they're either going to hit for him with their run of lefties. We know Jose's right behind that, and so I told Tarek at the end of the 7th that he had three hitters, and he was going to come out at that point. And part of it is controlling who's at bat, and obviously Tarek it's super hard to take him out of the game, especially when he's as dominant as he was.
When he came out in the 7th, just coming out of the inning after those 3 strikeouts, he was pumped up, fired up. What does that mean, just to see him?
We probably thought he was done. I mean, to be honest with you, just because of the emotion and where I've taken him out of games for 6 months was precisely for a moment like this, where that's the right time, in my opinion, to go back at it. So he's an emotional guy at face value, but where the game was, the way he pitched the 7th. Maybe a slight, not knowing whether he was going to be in the game. A lot of energy comes out, and I love it because these are big moments, and big-time players play well in big moments. They should be thrilled like he was.
Things obviously spiraled for you guys late in the season. At the end of the day, you lost home field in this round, but you had Skubal, on regular full rest. Did you kind of feel like you had the best, worst outcome, for a game like that?
I don't like the way you put it. I think having Tarek at the beginning of a series, in any series, whether it's regular season or certainly the postseason, is a huge boost for us. And yes, given how we were prepared to use Tarek on Sunday, if we needed to get into the playoffs, we needed a win. We got walked off on Friday. We come back with a hard-fought win on Saturday. So it was a great outcome. Whether it was the best, worst outcome or just a good outcome, I'm good with either.
AJ, I know you said Tarek made peace with last week and everything that happened, but just the fact that this was his first start since everything in a pressure-packed environment, was it just another level that he had today?
I don't see. I saw this all. I've seen this all year. I mean, he's likely to have hardware at the end of this year for precisely games like this that we've seen, with maybe only 1 or 2 exceptions. And so I think his focus, his determination. Like, this guy trains super hard in the off season. He never lets up. He carries us through so many of his starts. He's an emotional leader. There's a great presence with him, and everything changes the day that he pitches, which is what should be around an ace. He takes that responsibility, whether it's game 1 of a playoff series or some random June in an interleague series. probably not a little tick up at the level of the importance of what's going on with the playoffs, but it's vintage Tarek Skubal. For those that don't know him, this is what you get.
Go to Jordan in front.
We saw the velocity was up with Tarek. What about the secondary pitches? The slider in particular felt like he was really relying on that. We've seen the changeup all year.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell me. I can tell you he loved the slider 3-1 to Hedges. You know, it's the pitch he felt like he could get in the zone. It was everything kind of ticks up a little bit with the fastball, you know, velocity being up, and he even dropped a couple breaking balls curveballs that just missed. When he solves that you know, small little blemish on his resume, he's almost unhittable. And so what I see him, he's a pitcher. Like I know 100 impresses people, and I know, you know, the presence and the physical, you know, the body of work, and also just his presence on the mound is intimidating. But he doesn't just reach back and fire at 100. He's a pitcher, and moments like that, whether it's sliders or changeups or slow curveballs, and then the front door two-seamers, like, he's a beast. And that's why he's considered by many as the best pitcher in the big leagues.
Cody.
What was going through your mind when the Guardians scored the way they scored in the fourth inning?
You know, I kind of like with a loss of words, just because they just scratch and claw and come at you, and even getting Ramirez to third the way that they did, which was almost an incredible play that turned into an unfortunate play, really at the fault of no one, and he kicks it down the right field line, and now we're at third with nobody out. Like, crazy stuff happens around the Guardians when you play them, because they play their 27 outs, they compete, they're going to touch the ball. That's a play I've never really seen where, you know, I'm sure I have in my years, but you sort of par for the course when you play Cleveland in Detroit.
Go in the middle on the right. One more.
So, AJ, what was going through your mind when Ramirez gets on third after that crazy sequence where Baez makes an amazing play, but the throw goes awry? You have no outs, and then he kind of gets hung up. So, like, take me through the roller coaster of emotions there, and, like, if you think that could lead to momentum going forward.
Never a doubt. I don't think any of us had any doubt. In this room, in our room, in their room, everybody knew it was going to work out the way that it did. So yeah, I mean, you got to keep playing, obviously. I mean, even after the first one, you know, you're still not out of it. And then the second one, you're still not out of it. And then, you know, obviously we had to make plays. You know, I think whether it's a fundamental play that you practiced way back in February in Lakeland to get the runner running back to third. I know it sounds super simple, and every little leaguer in America knows how to do that play, but doing it on the big stage was a huge out for us. And not letting the batter runner get to second base, which was huge. So small things in close games, especially in the playoffs, matter. And the ability to execute a secondary pitch to get a funky swing created a sequence of events that led us to a 1-0 lead in a 3-game series.
Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
We'll have Terry.